Hello traders and welcome to the real-time supply and demand video. In this video we're going to talk about the benefits and the application of using the real-time supply and demand tool along with trading the GC. Now let's go and talk about the market vitals of this market. First of all, the market name is the COMEX Gold Futures. Ticker symbol is GC. The roll cycle is monthly, but if you want some more information on the roll cycle, go ahead and click on the link located on this page. The tick value is $10. The point value is $100. The cash open is at 8:20 a.m. Eastern Time. The cash close is at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And the night session, which is also tradable, is between 6 p.m. and 8:20 a.m. Eastern Time. The important recurring events to note that could affect this market are the non-farm payrolls, the FOMC, or Fed meeting minutes, the central banks, the world events, CPI and core CPI, dollar index, GDP, and PPI. As a reminder, trading does carry significant risk, and all information in this video is provided for educational purposes only and is not an offer or recommendation to trade future stocks, options, or Forex. Some of the key features of this tool is that it marks zones or areas of extreme supply or demand. It has the ability to be customized to any chart type, any time frame, or any market, including futures, ETFs, stocks, and Forex. So here's what it looks like on a 10-minute time frame here. You can see that these green zones down here, these are demand zones. These red zones up here are the supply zones. Now you'll notice we have a dark red zone, or excuse me, a dark green zone here and a light green zone here. What this means is that this zone here, this dark green one here, has been created but has not been revisited or retouched, hasn't been retested again. This zone, however, has. You can see that the zone is created here. Price moved away, came right back, touched it, and then moved off. And it'll go ahead and shade this a lighter green. Same thing here, zone is created here. Price moved away and off, came back, retested it, moved off, retested again, and moved off. That first retest will go ahead and change the color of that zone. The supply zones are up here. You can see the dark red, they haven't been retouched or retested. Yet this light red here has been retested. So price started here, moved out, came back in, and then started to trade down again. The hide zones button up here, you can go ahead and click on this, left click on this whenever you want to go ahead and hide the zones or show the zones. So how can this indicator help you with your trading? Well, the real-time supply and demand tool calculates imbalances from volume, blocks of volume, and order flow activity. So an important distinction here is that it's not just based on price. It's also based on volume along with price. This helps you measure and visually identify key points within the market. Here's a few different uses you can use the real-time supply and demand tool with, trade setups and triggers. So let's talk about this first one here. You can see that the price was created here, the demand zone is created here. Price moved away within just a couple of bars, came right back and retested. This is a prime example of using it as a trade setup. Now, if this came back and retested somewhere over here, could probably still use it as support, but the better trade is when it retested within 15-20 bars. You want to see it move out pretty aggressively, come back, retest it, give you a great opportunity to go ahead and go long. You have another opportunity here where the demand zone was created and moved away, came right back. Now I'd like to see this retested here instead of here, but nonetheless came back and used that supply and came back and retested here again. The first time when it does retest, you can be pretty confident it's going to hold up as support. Let's take a look at this one here in the top right-hand corner. Another great example, so you have the price being, supply zone being created here. Within a bar or two, comes back and retests it and gives you a beautiful short here to the downside. So again, by itself can be used as a trade setup and trigger. Support and resistance. So as you can see here, we have pretty good support through here and nice little resistance through here. A lot of traders will go ahead and use this just for simply support and resistance. Risk to reward analysis. If you take a long trade here, you know exactly where to go ahead and put your stop. You want to put it right below that demand box. Same thing here with the supply zone. If you take a short here, you know exactly where to go ahead and place your stop, just right above it. You know, if you're taking a short here, instead of putting it all the way at the top, you know to put it right above that supply zone. So you really tighten up risk to reward analysis. Sentiment, right away you can look at a chart and know if it's bullish or bearish. This one is clearly leaning a little bit more bullish because we have a lot more green boxes than red boxes. You can see we got a little bit of a pullback with these red boxes here, but overwhelmingly we have a lot of green boxes indicating a lot of bullish activity. So you can see sentiment right away. If you see a combination of a lot of red and green boxes, it's a great indication that you're in a range-bound market, so you should change your tactics accordingly. So let's go ahead and transition to the chart, and you want to right-click and then go into indicators. You can put this again on any time frame here. Go down to the NCAT RSD for real-time supply and demand. Go ahead and load that in and hit OK. And you're all set here and ready to go here. You see all the tool loaded up pretty quickly. Now you can go ahead and hide the zones here, or you can show them whenever you like. Go ahead and right click and go back into indicators, and actually go ahead and move the chart over, go through some of these settings with you. The extend zone minutes, let's go ahead and set this to 240 and click on extend zone. What that's going to go ahead and do is extend these zones out here by 4 hours. So if you're doing any type of projections, you can easily locate and see those zones pretty easily out into the future. No weak zones, so if you want to see weak zones, go ahead and uncheck this box. I don't like to see weak zones, so I'll leave that checked. Recolor retouch, so it means that if you don't like these boxes changing to a light red or a light green, you can go ahead and uncheck that and make sure they always say dark green or dark red. Recolor weak retouch, so if you have the weak zones highlighted here, you can get the recolor weak retouch here and have them recolor as well if you like. Here's an important function, the time frame type. Now, every time you go do a 10-minute, a 5-minute, or a 30-minute, it's going to go ahead and change the supply and demand zones with you. Now, if you go ahead and go to a minute, let's say we go to a 60-minute time frame here. Now, what this is going to go ahead and do is give you 60-minute supply and demand zones on a 10-minute, a 5-minute, a 15-minute chart. Whichever time frame you go to, it's always going to be 60-minute time or supply and demand zones. So very important. You can change this to 240, you can change it to whatever you like, but it's like having two charts in one. So instead of going back and forth, you can see the zones on a 60-minute, on a 10-minute, 5-minute, 1-minute time frame. Go back to chart period. What this is going to go ahead and do is now every time you change a chart period from 10 to 5 to 20, it'll go ahead and update those to a 20, a 10, or 5, whichever one that you like. So we'll stick with the chart period. Data series, setup, and visual, you want to go ahead and leave the same. Colors, if you want to go ahead and change any of the colors of these boxes, you can go ahead and do that here. Far edge price. So what the main edge price is what you see right now is 1281.20, 1273.20, 1268.80. For the supply zones, the bottom of the box, 1301.90, 1303.30. Now if you want to see both prices at the top and the bottom of the boxes, you can go ahead and do that, and you can see that here. Go ahead and leave that one off here. I can go ahead and put zone height on here. What this is going to do in terms of ticks is tell me exactly how high these zones are, how wide they are. So this one's 42 ticks wide, 15 ticks, 10 ticks, 12 ticks. So it gives me a good idea of how much I'm going to risk if I simply just take the box here and trade the box. If you want an email address every time a zone is created, it's very important. Go ahead and put your email address in each of these boxes here. Otherwise, it will not trigger the email and you will not get that email. So you have to put your email in 3 times here to go ahead and trigger those emails if you want those. Again, it'll create an email and send it off to you as soon as one of these are created. Again, you have to put the password and all this information here as well. For an audible alert on the demand and the supply zone, just go ahead and simply click on this drop-down menu and pick whichever WAV file that you like for the demand and the supply. Once you're done, go ahead and hit OK, and you're all set and ready to go. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful, and happy trading.